Former US President Donald Trump has been indicted by the Justice Department for his efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election results. The indictment focuses on a very turbulent period between Trump losing the election to Joe Biden in November of 2020 and also the January 6, 2021 Capitol riots. Charges against Trump include conspiracy to defraud the United States government and witness tampering. This indictment marks the third instance of a case brought against the former president in just 4 months. This as he seeks to reclaim the White House. India's Haryana remains on the edge after clashes in New district. Indian authorities imposed a curfew, suspended internet services and also deployed thousands of paramilitary forces after Tuesday's clashes. Over 100 arrests have been made so far by the forces deployed. The violence began after mob clashes in New during a religious procession. At least 6 people, including 2 Home Guard personnel, have been killed in the clashes. More than 20 police officers have also sustained injuries in the violence, and dozens of cars were also set ablaze. The Indian Air Force has rescued a stranded civilian helicopter near the Amarnath Shrine in Jammu and Kashmir. The single-engine helicopter developed a technical snag and ceased to operate. The IAF's 11,500 feet daring high-altitude mission involved a Mi-17 VF helicopter. The stranded helicopter had caused blockage and disruption at the Panchtarni helipad, which is the final helicopter drop point for the Amarnath Yatra. The Mi-17 helicopter crew managed to airlift the damaged helicopter through a valley surrounded by steep mountains. A massive fire broke out in India's Telangana. Flames engulfed a restaurant in the state's capital of Hyderabad. They also reached a cloth showroom downstairs, adding fuel to the fire. 4 fire engines showed up to the spot but faced difficulty to control the flames, as a fuel station was adjacent to the restaurant. Two people were killed and 5 others wounded after an attacker hurled a petrol bomb on a bus in Senegal's capital of Dakar. The bus was traveling from the suburbs to the center of the city when it was blocked by a group of miscreants. 7 hooded individuals hurled a Molotov cocktail at the bus and set it on fire. The attackers also robbed passengers of their money and mobile phones. Such attacks have escalated after opposition leader Sonko was indicted under fresh criminal charges. Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko taunted Poland over the presence of Russian Wagner mercenaries near the NATO country's border. Lukashenko said that Warsaw should thank him for keeping them in check. Poland has claimed that Belarusian military choppers crossed into its airspace. Meanwhile, Belarusian military has denied Poland's accusations and counter-accused NATO and Poland of troop build-up at the border. Dozens of young men from West Africa are being forced to take shelter on the sidewalk in front of Manhattan's Roosevelt Hotel. New York City is facing an unprecedented number of migrant arrivals since the summer of 2022. More than 90,000 migrants, mainly from Central and South America, have arrived in the Big Apple since April last year. Rehabilitation services are crumbling under pressure. New York's mayor has said that the city has no more room for migrants. and that authorities will hand out flyers at the US-Mexico border encouraging them to go elsewhere. Five members of the Chilean Air Force were killed in a helicopter crash on Monday. The accident took place during a night flight drill when the helicopter nosedived towards the ground and crashed. The B-412 aircraft fell on a eucalyptus forest, causing a small fire. The Chilean Air Force issued a statement saying that the cause of the nosedive is under investigation. A 20-year-old Palestinian gunman opened fire in an Israeli settlement east of Jerusalem and wounded 6 people. The gunman was dressed as a security guard in a neon vest and fired shots outside a shopping mall. An off-duty police officer opened fire in response and killed the gunman. Islamic militant group Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad praised the attack as quote-unquote heroic, but did not claim responsibility for it. Four people, including the daughter of a Super Bowl winning former NFL player, died in 2 separate crashes related to an air show in Wisconsin. The Experimental Aircraft Association said that Devine Relay, the daughter of 2-time Super Bowl winner Bruce Coley, and her co-pilot died after their World War II-era plane crashed into Lake Winnebago. In a separate incident, a pilot and a passenger died after a helicopter and gyrocopter collided mid-air over an event runway. One of the aircraft landed on a parked plane. Russian drones attacked and damaged the port and grain storage facility in Ukraine's Odessa region. Moscow stepped up attacks on Kiev's agricultural and port infrastructure after refusing to extend the Black Sea grain deal. Russia further warned that ships heading to Ukrainian seaports could be considered military targets after snapping the deal. Of no casualties have been reported yet. High winds littered roads with debris in Japan's Okinawa prefecture as Typhoon Kanun nears country's southwest. This after strong winds and high waves battered the island's coastline. Power lines were also out, knocking out electricity for more than 200,000 households. The storm has lashed the country amid peak summer tourist season. As a result, tourists visiting Japan have dropped to pre-pandemic levels this year. Taiwan's Vice President William Lai will stop in New York and San Francisco on his way to and from Paraguay. Lai is visiting Paraguay for the inaugural ceremony of its new president. Meanwhile, Beijing has criticized the trip. The country has slammed Lai as a separatist. Meanwhile, Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen offered support to Beijing amid Typhoon Doksuri. In the same press conference where the visit was announced. Thousands of Catholics painted in black paraded through the streets of Nicaragua's capital to celebrate the Santo Domingo festival. The festival is being celebrated amid tensions between the church and the president. The capital's 10-day-long festivities begin with the transfer of the tiny image of the saint to the Santo Domingo Church in the old capital center. While he remains in the Santo Domingo Church, the saint is also taken to different neighborhoods of the capital until August of 10th, initiating another massive procession to return the deity back. In Yemen's capital of Sana'a, dozens young and old people are taking to group exercise sessions. People claim it helps take their minds off the problems caused by the conflicts plaguing the country. The initiative began when a few retired state servants gathered in parks to let off some steam and work out. The idea has garnered momentum as the sessions do not entail any fees and have not set dress code. 8 years of conflict have disrupted healthcare systems and plunged millions into poverty in Yemen. The UK has launched its first permanent postal drone delivery service on the Orkney Island. Mail will now be transported from Royal Mail's Kirkwall delivery office to Stromness via drone. Drones are expected to significantly improve service levels and delivery times between distant places. They can also circumvent weather and geographic obstacles. The drone service is also expected to improve delivery times to Grimsay and Hoy. Pope Francis has landed in Lisbon, this as hundreds of thousands of pilgrims mark the start of the world's largest gathering of young Catholics. The faithful flew in from all over the world and waved their national flags at one of Lisbon's main parks. Hymns were played and prayers were said in a build-up to Lisbon Patriarch Manuel Clemente's welcome. Crowds took shelter in schools, gyms, fire stations and with their families. Many plan to sleep in the open before the closing mass. The first of two supermoons in August graced night skies across the world. A supermoon is broadly defined as a full moon that is closer to the Earth than normal. The phenomena makes it appear slightly brighter and bigger in the sky. From country to country, keen sky gazers diligently capture the sturgeon moon. Chinese authorities evacuated over 100,000 people in Hebei province, the Jiangsu city, amid heavy flooding. 9 people died and 6 others are currently missing. Severely flooded roads have stranded an unknown number of residents as well. A total of 8,755 emergency personnel have been dispatched for search and rescue operations. China's finance ministry announced it would allocate $15 million for rescue work in the region. Typhoon Khanun closed in on Japan and high winds littered roads with debris in Okinawa Prefecture. Strong winds and high waves battered the island coastline on Wednesday. Power lines were also hit, knocking out electricity to more than 200,000 households. This after the powerful and slow-moving Typhoon Khanun near the country's southwestern islands. The storm is hitting during the peak summer tourist season, and as a result, the number of visitors has returned to pre-pandemic levels. Cryptocurrency exchange Binance reportedly saw users in China engage in illegal trading of crypto assets worth a staggering $90 billion in a single month. According to Wall Street Journal, these transactions made China's Binance's largest market, accounting for 20% of global volume, despite being illegal in the country since 2021. Binance, which originated in China but withdrew in 2017 amid regulatory crackdowns, has also faced scrutiny from United States regulators, with lawsuits and investigations over alleged illegal activities. SoftBank-owned British chip designer Arm Limited is targeting a blockbuster IPO with a valuation between $60 billion and $70 billion in September. The company plans to list its shares on Nasdaq, aiming to raise $8 to $10 billion. ARM's cutting-edge designs are used by major semiconductor giants like Intel, AMD, NVIDIA and Qualcomm. Advanced Micro Devices, or AMD, predicts a strong finish. The Reserve Bank of India has revealed that 88% of the country's 200 rupee currency notes amounting to a staggering $38.17 billion have been returned since their withdrawal decision, and these high-value notes were introduced in 2016 to replenish the economy after the demonetization move. But the RBI has been striving to reduce their circulation and halted their printing for the past 4 years.